Alrighty, so first things first, let's analyze the day we had today. As you can see, up a decent amount on the MLCO short. This is my swing account. IINN, I did take some day trades on today. Took two of them. Took one pre-market for a push up to 250. Never got it. Locked it in. For some reason, my average said it was 27.5 or $2.27. But when I locked it in, I actually lost like 150 bucks on it, or 200 bucks. I don't think it was slippage. I think there was an error on my actual average. I think it was closer to 230. And then I purchased again off of this 5-minute pullback right here, this wick down, retesting the pre-market high. Remember, old resistance lines can become new support lines. So all I did was I drew a resistance line at 243. As it tapped it, I added a decent amount, and then I for move higher. 20,000 shares. That's about 50% of my account was in the stock at one point. I was fairly confident in it, and then I sold half at 265 right at the top, and then I sold another half at 263, I think, when it failed to break 260, and then the last was 254. So solid day today. Awesome trades. Short position looking really good in this account. Solid day nonetheless. But today I want to talk about how I decide what stock to focus on, heading into market open. So there's no secret that there's a lot of noise in trading. Those of you guys who've been trading for quite some time, you know what I'm talking about. And what I mean by noise is there's a lot going on, like indicators, influencers. You have so many stock picks, so many strategies. It feels like it's never ending, and there's a lot of noise around trading. And there's a plus to that because there's a lot of education, but there's also a massive negative to that because especially when I first started, I was not good at blocking out the noise. I could not. There was just too much going on, and what happened with that was I didn't stick to one strategy. I didn't stick to one game plan. I tried to trade like everyone else because what I was trying to find was the golden goose egg strategy, whatever you want to call it. Works 100% of the time. I get rich overnight, yada yada. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. There's no strategy like that. However, if you can perfect one, that's where you can start to see some exponential gains in your life. And that's all I do. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Try to keep the trades I take as selective as possible. And like I discussed not too long ago, I did a small account challenge. I took $2,500 into over 10 grand in about 3 months, and I barely traded in it. I was below PDT, obviously, and I did not give it much focus. It was kind of like, oh, let me load up my small account. But what I found by doing that, now, given this wasn't a hotter market, so it was a little bit easier, I only was extremely selective in that account. Meaning, if it was an A+ setup, I traded it in that account. And what I found by that was I was more profitable trading less than I was trading more. You'd think, oh, the more trades you take, the more money you make. That is absolutely not true. The less trades I took, the more money I made. And it was a very interesting concept for me. I learned that very quickly. And that kind of leads me into what I look for, heading into market open. And so there's a lot of stocks you can pick from. However, I try to find the best one. And how I do that is I look through my gap scanner, usually the top 5 I look through that have potential. And then from there, what I do is I look at the 6-month setup. In my opinion, is one of the most important setups because I could then accurately gauge how much room this stock has to run. By judging the 6-month setup, I can accurately tell within obviously a decent margin if this is going to be a massive winner or a little winner. And I'm not always accurate. No trader is. But what I mean by that is if it has a good 6-month setup, I know there's a lot of room for opportunity, and then I would decide from there how big of a position I'm going to take. I was pretty upset. There was, I think it's NLIT. Yep, NLIT. My camera's blocking here. One second. If you guys want to look at NLIT's 6-month setup, you can see that there was no movement at all, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere it started to gap up higher from 10 up to 20 up to 30. If I saw that 6-month setup, I would be very excited. I would be taking a big position, in this trade. IINN, I looked at the 6-month setup and went, oh man, let me do this. The 200 MA is coming into contact with it. It's a former runner, so there's a lot of bag holders, unneeded sellers from $2 up to $10. I don't really like that. So I'm going to take rather limited size. However, from the pre-market chart is the next thing I'll look at. I looked at it and I said, okay, there's some opportunity here. Solid breakouts, solid consolidation levels. It's not wicking out. When I was trading at pre-market, there was a lot of pre-market volume. And I said, okay, I would at least be willing to trade it. The 6-month setup isn't great, but the intraday setup is just fine. So I just decided to trade it. I knew there wasn't going to be massive opportunity ahead. That's why I put my price targets lower, like 265. A lot of you guys asked why I did that and how I knew that was more likely going to be the top. I didn't know. I need to correct myself. The reason why I assumed that was going to be more likely the top is because of the 6-month setup not being as good. If IINN's setup looked more like NLIT's did, then I would be increasing my price targets, 275, 350. I didn't, and so I moved my price targets down. I locked in half profit at 265, and I wasn't greedy with it because the 6-month setup wasn't great, but I did trade it because the intraday setup was great. And then from there, I look at, okay, where would I enter? Where would be the real play here? So I was thinking break at the pre-market high, 250. I'm kind of going around in my head, kind of imagining all scenarios and what how I would accurately trade this stock, because I need to have a game plan in place. From there, I think, okay, if I were to trade for the break at the pre-market high or 250, then where would I put my stop loss and my take profit? You guys need to always plan your trade before entering. If you guys have a problem with this, what I would recommend is actually writing down your planned entries and exits, a little notepad next to you before entering, making sure your risk to reward ratio. Wow, your risk to reward ratio. I struggled with ours as a kid, if you guys couldn't tell. Needs to be 2 to 1. I talk about this all the time. For example, I bought at 243. I was looking to make at least 20 cents a share on the stock because my stop loss was going to be about 10 cents a share. 230, 235 was my stop loss. I had to at least, look to make at least 20 cents a share. So automatically, I had my trade written down in my head. I planned it, and then from there, it's all about execution. And when it comes to execution, the things you need to look for is level 2 orders. Is there massive sellers or buyers in any area I need to know about? If not, watching the tape, seeing big orders go through, and then from there try to execute your trade. But also being able to change your game plan on your trade while you were in it. So, for example, IINN this morning pre-market, I took a stab at it at 230 for push up to 250. Hit 243, then pulled on back. And because it didn't break initially, I locked it in at roughly break even. I was willing to adjust my strategy. A big problem with me when I first started was I told myself I'm either going to lose on this a decent amount or make a decent amount on it. No in between. Because at the time I was limited on day trades. I had to either have a big winner or a decent loser to validate the trade. Break even trade, what's that? Why do that if I'm limited on trades? I'm here to tell you need to be good at having break even trades. So I broke even on it. Now, obviously, looking back at it, oh man, I wish I held in the market open. That I would have profited a lot on it. Yes, sure, great. But if that happened in the negative direction and it dumped back down to 2, I'd be down 15% on my account, or on that trade. I'd be down $7,000. So automatically, you can kind of tell that you know, if the risk to or the probability isn't there to make money, in the probability of profiting starts to decrease, meaning it's double topping, triple topping, failing to break out. There's sellers stacking up on the level 2. I saw a 50,000 share seller on IINN at 260. That's how I knew it was more likely going to sell, or it was going to top out there. So from there, I analyzed the stock, and I said to myself, okay, the probability of this hitting my next price target is getting less of. This game's all about probability. And then from there, I adjusted my strategy, and I was willing to take profit a little bit sooner than I would have liked, but I have to be okay with that. So that kind of makes sense. Obviously, if I saw a 100,000 share buyer at 260, well, the probability of me locking in profit has just increased a large margin. So I'm going to hold through this pullback for a move higher because I'm seeing big time buyers stack up on level 2. That's kind of all I had to discuss. I'm shocked I was able to get that through in about 15 minutes. The last thing I want to say to that, guys, is one thing I do look for, and I kind of touched on it briefly during the trading hours, is look for a catalyst, please. If there's no catalyst, you shouldn't be going in with decent size. You can maybe take starter position level sizes, like 15-20% of your overall account, because there's sometimes that there's no catalyst, or there is a catalyst but it hasn't been released yet. It was leaked, and so it's not on all news sources. I get that. However, please read the top headlines for that stock. CANO, what did that end up doing? So it topped out at 609 and then pulled on back pretty heavily. It's kind of what I'm talking about. BLUE, same thing. There was no real catalyst for it to run yesterday. Just simply some momentum and some hopefulness. Don't trade that. That's why I was so keen on trading IINN, because of the catalyst it had, the headline it had. So I was willing to trade it. Just make sure you're only trading stocks with solid catalysts, or at least with decent position sizing, because it is important. It definitely is. SIDU was a great example of this. I knew there was a lot of upside to be had not too long ago when it went from $146 up to $10, because the catalyst it had was crazy. It was really good. Let me see if I can find it. They scored like $1 billion contract with NASA or something absolutely ridiculous. Let me see if I can find it. I can't see what day that was. Okay, right around here. Let me find it. Let me look for it. Think about questions you guys can ask me as I'm looking for this catalyst. Is it this? You think I'd be able to find it easier? However, you guys understand the point. It was a massive. Yep, right here. SIDU Space joins Raytheon Technologies unit team for NASA's $3.5 billion contract. It's a big catalyst. Hence why it ran 1,000%. That's why I took I think 80% of my account on this trade. Did I profit immensely on it? No, I did not. But I knew there was a lot of potential to be had. IINN, kind of the same thing. Decent catalyst this morning. However, it's hard for me to analyze how big of a catalyst it's going to be. I don't have a background in the pharmaceutical industry, so it's hard for me to analyze that. However, I know any retail trader would look at that and say, hey, that's a good catalyst. So what would you recommend your typical position size be for a stock that's a good catalyst in terms of percent total account size? So good catalyst and a good 6-month setup, depending on how confident you are. Upper 60 percentile. I've done 60 to almost 100%. DWAC, my bigger winner, was a good 6-month setup. It was a SPAC deal, so it was not a former runner. It had Trump media stock behind it, so it had some politics, I guess, behind it. So I put 100% of my account in it. I don't do that much anymore just because the market has been great. But if it's a good catalyst and it's a good 6 month setup, then I would be comfortable putting in more than half my account. Um, Today you saw me put in about 50% of my account. Reason why I wasn't 75% was the 6 month setup was rather poor. Wow, this is an interesting stock. USEA. It's a IPO opened at 80 cents up to $4.20. Let's see where Mumu tells me the resumption is going to be. So I love Mumu here. USEA 530. Interesting. Maybe you'll trade it. Alrighty, y'all. Do you guys have any questions for me? Zach does. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, Sam. Yeah, Steven. I trade about $100,000 account. I plan on increasing that as time goes on, but I have to wait for a little bit of a hotter market cycle to do that. In order to progress as a trader, I need to start increasing my overall size. I'm looking to get my overall count up to about 300K. That's kind of. I tried to do that in January, but I could tell I was far too nervous, shaking when I got in a trade. All right, Zach, put you up to speak.
Hey, what's up, Jason?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I just got a quick question about the catalyst. So,
Mm-hmm.
when a catalyst like comes out, are you looking for any specific indicators, just like on the chart?
What do you mean? Um,
So
Sorry,
just
go ahead.
when a catalyst comes out or news for the stock,
Mm-hmm.
are you looking for any specific indicators to relate to the chart? If that makes sense.
Um, I mean, if it's a sound catalyst, it should automatically be ripping. There's advanced AI bots out there that scan the market, and the second a headline comes out, they buy the stock. So automatically, it should be already ripping, like immediately after um, the, uh, the headline comes out. So you should see a massive green candle.
Okay. And I got another quick question. This isn't really related to the group lesson, but I've been paper trading and um, I was using TradingView for a while, and it's not good at all. It always fills me late and just has a lot of latency. I was just wondering if you have a specific one.
I think as far as paper trading goes, I think Thinkorswim's paper trading platform is great. I know I've spent a great deal of time on it. Several years ago. I even toy around with it sometimes. But I would say probably Thinkorswim's is great. You can get real time data on it. You just have to ask TOS support. I'm not. I'm sure their fills are probably a few second delay, like maybe 1 or 2 second delay, but it shouldn't be. The only thing I'd be careful about is I think on Thinkorswim paper trading, those of you guys who are on it, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's like no slippage on it, so it's like just know that if you profit on a stock on the paper account, just know that you probably won't come out with that much profit on a live account just because there is literally I think it perfectly fills you on the bid and sells you on the ask. From what I remember, I don't know if they've changed that or added slippage, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. But I would look at TOS paper trading if you could.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And then Isaiah had a question.
Hello, can you hear me there?
Yep.
All right, hold on, let me put you on. You went to my phone speaker. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you mentioned about like 50 to 80% of your account size for certain positions, and then in tandem with that, earlier you mentioned too that you kind of liked having the less trades and the more was just more of a hindrance to you. And so would you recommend using a margin account so that way you can use larger position sizes and less trades if under PDT, or would you recommend using a cash account and then dividing the account in half so then you get more trades with smaller position sizes?
I always
What-
recommend margin account. That way you can short and various other things. I think, yeah, it sucks that you have to be more selective and you have limited trades. However, I still would like to. I'd recommend using a margin account, and then when you use up your day trades, go switch to paper trading in practice, and try to be as selective as possible. On the trades, I'd say, guys, I'm taking a light position here. It's not the greatest setup. Don't waste your day trade on it. But on stuff like this, where you hear me saying I'm buying 20 to 30,000 shares, those are the stocks you should be looking for to use your day trades on. That's just my opinion. Because if you think about it, the cash count, say you have $1,000 cash account, you can take $1,000 trade or $1,001 trades, right? It's pretty. Or you can take a margin account and take three $1,000 trades, totaling $3,000 in buying power without using margin. So right there, you can automatically see that even though you're going to be trading less, your gains should be a tad bigger.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, y'all. Chris had a question. So a 10 out of 10 setup would be trending up over the past 6 months, strong move to the upside, and a big catalyst. Correct, Chris. It doesn't have to be trending up, I guess, on the 6 month setup, but it needs to be. It needs to. My favorite ones are almost like a flat line, like a SPAC deal or something. I could send some pictures in if that helps. For example, this was ISIG. I always like to refer to this one because I made, I think, like 50K on the stock. Something like this, where, if you look at it, it just, for months and months and months, consolidated, did not do anything, had no former past or history of, bag holders or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one day it goes from $5 up to 35. That's what I look for. But alrighty, y'all. Well, I think that's gonna conclude this group lesson. Been going for about 23 minutes here. Is there any last minute questions you guys might have before I head off for the day and get some work done? Zach has another question.
Hey Jason, what's up? I just got a quick question. I think I might have went over this with Corey a while ago, but I of course have a lot smaller account. It's around $1,000, but I haven't traded it at all. And I was wondering if you had any recommendations or had anything to say about it, because of course I have to take a lot higher risk positions because my account is so much smaller. If you think I should be taking smaller risks and just compounding it over
So what I would say to that is, just because your account is small does not mean you should increase your risk. That's a common misconception with beginner traders. Is you think, wow, I have $1,000 account, I need to be full porting every trade. While I did that with my small account challenge, I had several years of trading underneath my belt. Everyone that starts with $1,000 account, I'm going to head and assume they don't have several years of trading underneath their belt. So what I'd recommend is treat your $1,000 account like it's a $100,000 account, like it is, over PDT. Because the problem with that is if you start full porting and increasing risk with your $1,000 account, somehow if you miraculously get it up to 25K or 50K, you're going to just do that again anyway. You're going to continue to because you're almost obsessed with the risk and the reward, the percent gain you make. Trust me, I did that. I went from, like I said, 10K to almost 100K in less than a month. And then I went from 100K back down to 14K in less than 2 weeks because I kept going bigger position size, because I was so used to, in the bad habits I formed going in with full account. By the time I was actually over PDT, those bad habits were still a thing. So treat it like a normal account, like you're above PDT. Keep adding money to it, with a job or investments you might have, and that's what I would recommend personally.
Yeah, I have two jobs, and I was thinking, I wasn't sure if I should add money to it just like over time, or should I just add money at the end when I'm around like 20K just to get over the PDT.
Well, why? I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're confident and you are proving consistency to yourself, why wouldn't you add money to it? I guess
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean. It's better
yeah,
than sitting in a bank account if you are
yeah.
showing that you're
That's
being consistent.
exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been thinking. Cause
Mhm.
my money is just losing appreciation over time, obviously,
Yeah.
in just
So
my
it's,
bank account.
but
So
if you are losing and losing and losing and losing, I wouldn't. I would wait to add more money to it, and then wait to start being more consistent. But if you're like, hey man, I think I've been killing it. Like my account's up like 30% this month, or something like that. Then yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't add to it.
and just another thing, real quick. I haven't taken any trades on my real account, just on the paper account.
Hmm.
Do you think would you recommend me to take your trades, the one that you'll put in uh the Premier Day Trading chat? Do you think I should be taking those on my real account? Because I've been taking them on my paper account.
The one in our day trade in our live streams or in the premium day trading chat you're talking about those are I use
Just
that
like the
premium day
swing
trading.
trading one.
What was that?
Yeah, just the swing trading one, the one that you took with CCL and then MLCO.
I
I
I
didn't take
wouldn't
those. I took them with my paper account.
I wouldn't, and the reason being is it can be frustrating having all of your capital. I have two accounts. I have a swing and a day trading account. It can be very frustrating having all your capital tied up in a swing trade while trying to learn how to day trade. So what I'd recommend is don't yet. If you have a small account that's below PDT, if it's above PDT and you got 30, 40, 50K in your account or more, yes, I would highly recommend taking those positions. However, if you're trying to practice day trading, I wouldn't veer off and put them in swing trades. I would really just kind of double down and focus on day trading.
Okay, got it.
Cool.
So the day trading ones that you post and on the live streams, uh, should I be taking those? Just like the three on just starting to take the three on my account.
What do you? I mean, that's for you to decide, buddy. I can't tell you yay or nay. That is your decision to make. I'm not going to force you to take live day
Yeah,
trades if you don't want to. These trades, you guys watching me trade, I say this like a lot of time. You know, don't say are we all in? Like should I enter? I cannot tell you guys legally should you or should you not enter. All I can do is show you guys when I enter and when I exit. If you guys choose to take the trades I do, then go for it. Great. I have a decent track record. Generally, it'll end up paying out in your favor. However, I'll never be the one to say you guys need to buy this now. I actually, that's a lie. I did it one time, but I was very confident in it in my defense. But like I said, I legally cannot tell you what to do with your money. I can simply show you what I do with mine.
okay. Thank you.
Yep. Alrighty, team. Well, that's going to do it for today's group lesson. If you have any more questions, feel free to direct message me. Again, I did record this, and I will have it posted either today or tomorrow. If you guys wanted to rewatch it or go through some of the things we talked about, I think we had great talking points, in this group lesson. Um, these are private lessons. Like I do post in a private link for you guys. However, if you guys really feel led to, I don't mind if you want to share these with a friend or whatnot. If you think someone can get value out of these are for you guys. However, if you guys think there's someone that's interested in trading and wants to know more, I don't mind that you send them the link. However, you can't just simply go on my YouTube and find them. I'll post some of them occasionally, but they are private links. But Anyways, y'all, that's going to do it for me today. I will catch you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Excellent trading day, up about 3K on the day, which is almost my weekly goal. Weekly goal is 5K. So up about 2,500 on the week. Lost about 400 yesterday on blue. Really excited. Really excited. Also, our new partnership that we just locked in, you guys will have more information later on. Alrighty, y'all. Have an excellent day. Peace.